She carried the puzzle in both hands like it was glass. I remember thinking it was heavier than it looked. Thin wood, sanded smooth at the edges, each piece cut into irregular shapes that only locked together if you understood the pattern she'd designed. She had stayed up late all week shaping it at the dining table, brushing sawdust into a neat pile, refusing help. Family night was loud before we even sat down. My brother dominated the room the way he always did, confident, amused by everything. When she placed the puzzle on the coffee table and explained softly that it wasn't just a picture, but a mechanical interlock system, he didn't even bend down to look closely. That's cute for a kid with basic skills. The laughter came easily, not cruel, just reflexive. She didn't argue, didn't defend it. She slid the pieces back into the cloth pouch she'd sewn for it and put the pouch in her bag. The movement was careful, controlled. Then she stood there, hands resting against her sides, eyes focused somewhere near the floor, but not quite on it. I felt the moment stretch. There are seconds when you know you are being measured, not by the room, but by someone smaller and quieter. I could have said something simple. Even mild disagreement would have shifted the air. Instead, I calculated. I told myself it wasn't worth a scene. That she needed thicker skin, that family's tease. So I stayed seated. The rest of the evening resumed its rhythm. My brother moved on to other jokes. The conversation swelled. My daughter spoke only when asked direct questions. She smiled when required. When we left, she carried her bag differently, not protective anymore, just practical. At home, she didn't bring the puzzle back out. The dining table stayed clear the next evening. No sanding, no sketching new designs. I noticed the absence more than I had ever noticed the work itself. A week later, I received an email from her technology teacher. Formal tone, congratulatory language. Her puzzle had been selected for a regional student design showcase. The email described advanced spatial reasoning and original structural problem solving. There would be a small ceremony. Judges, local sponsors, authority in clean, institutional wording. I showed her the message. She read it without visible reaction, just a small nod, as if confirming something privately. The showcase was held in a municipal hall with harsh lighting and folding chairs arranged in rows. Her puzzle sat under a labeled placard with her name printed clearly beneath it. People leaned in close, turning the pieces carefully, asking technical questions. An event coordinator with a badge and microphone eventually stepped forward to address the room. He spoke about innovation, about independent thinking. He held up her puzzle and explained its locking mechanism to the audience. "It's deceptively sophisticated," he said. "This level of craftsmanship at her age is rare." The applause felt structured, official. I hadn't invited my brother, but he came anyway. My mother must have mentioned it. He stood near the back at first, arms folded, expression unreadable. When the coordinator asked the young designers to stand beside their work, my daughter stepped forward. There was no smirk in the room this time. After the presentation, my brother approached the table. He examined the puzzle longer than he had at family night. He asked her how she'd cut the internal grooves without splitting the wood. His voice carried a careful neutrality. She answered him politely, clearly, without enthusiasm. No one referenced the earlier comment. No apology was offered. None requested. Control had shifted, but not dramatically, just enough. On the drive home, she stared out the window, watching streetlights pass in steady intervals. I told her I was proud of her. The words felt late. "Thanks," she said. There was no accusation in her tone. That would have been easier. I realized then that the ceremony had corrected the room, but it hadn't corrected me. Authority had stepped in where I had chosen not to. The validation was real, earned, and public. But it didn't erase the image of her standing still while laughter filled the space around her. Silence is not neutral. I understood that now. She brought the puzzle back to the dining table the following evening. Not with excitement, just with quiet continuation. I sat across from her while she worked. I didn't offer instruction. I didn't overpraise. I just stayed. The next time someone smirks, and there will be a next time, I know the cost of measuring peace against dignity. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't explode relationships. It simply leaves a thin fracture that takes longer to see than to create. Power had become quiet but undeniable. So had the lesson.